And again we go into the breach. So, Europe is Catholic. In the Middle Ages, that is. The Inquisition and the Catholic Church have made sure to do so. In that, the Church got a little bit out of control with the Inquisition, which is what your essay was about, was the Church justified to use the Inquisition to make sure everybody went to heaven? Most of you, I'm pretty sure, wrote that. No, probably not. It went to a little bit of excess. People at their most dangerous when they are convinced that what they're doing is the right thing. And sometimes in doing the right thing, they believe, we've got to do some things that are wrong. So therefore, the Catholic Church tortured thousands, burned who knows how many, in their efforts to assure that people went to heaven, and they won the war against Satan. But little did they know they sort of became the evil themselves. Catholic Church has apologized for the Inquisition. They've also apologized for this next topic. In your notebook, we're going to a new section. Make sure you're taking your notes, go through there, because we need to talk about the cross and the crescent. We need to talk about the Crusades. I tried to spin around my chair and I ran into my desk. Let me try that again. And once more, I fail. All right, and that's why I succeed, because I fail so much, because I'm not afraid to keep on trying. The Crusades. Okay, so what we have. The Catholic Church was all powerful. And not only were they worried about Satan, the Catholic Church was worried about Christianity as a whole. They wanted to make sure that Christianity survived and that Christianity grew. And in doing so, again, they went to a bit of excess. The Crusades, if you don't have this in your notebook as of yet, please jot this down. The Crusades were horrific medieval wars between Muslims and Christians. Wars for which we are still paying somewhat of a price for that today. Now, we've discussed Islam. Islam is a religion of peace, except in the hands of terrorists, of course. Okay, Islam, a great faith, the faith of the Prophet Muhammad, the 5 pillars of faith. Pray 5 times a day, fast in the month of Ramadan, give to charity, go to Mecca if possible. And there's one that I'm forgetting right now. Oh, you must say the Shahada. There's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. Well, let's talk about our review very, very quickly. Our Islam. Now, Muhammad's last words. Yes, you need to put this in your notebook if you haven't done so already, because this is going to set the table. It's going to set the table. 3-day-old water is going to set the table for the Crusades. Muhammad's last words were to spread Islam. And spread Islam the Arabs did. The Arabs became an elite civilization. During the 600s, 700s, year 1000, the Arabs were potentially one of the, if not the, most advanced civilization on the earth, with perhaps exception to the Chinese, of course. The Arabs will explode out of Arabia, conquering North Africa, conquering all the way into Spain, where they are stopped by the Franks and Charles Martel and Charlemagne. They will also expand the borders of Islam all the way to the edges of India. This is a territorial empire. It is the Arab Empire, which over time will break away and become like different countries in itself. Now, these areas that we're looking at were once all Christian areas. But let's come back to that. The Arabs are one of the elite civilizations on earth, and they have given us much that we must thank the Arabs for. Arabs from Arabia. First off, the Arabs have given us the algebra. Sorry, I read that wrong. Algebra. The numbers 0 through 9. Those are Arab inventions. Now, before you curse them too much because they gave us algebra, understand that complex computers and all of your games and toys, it's my daughter's, all of these technological marvels that you enjoy, they run on math. No math, no toys. And the numbers 0 through 9, Don't be upset at them giving us the number 0 through 9. Before the Arabs, what were we using? Roman numerals. Roman numerals like this one. V. 5. All right? You think math is hard now? Try this. Yeah. Okay, can you solve that? The only way you can solve it is by converting it to Arabic numerals. By the way, the answer? I think that's the answer. No! There you go. I'm pretty sure that's the answer. You want extra credit? Email me if I'm wrong and tell me the correct answer in Roman numerals. Okay. The Arabs gave us algebra. The numbers 0 through 9. They're the elite civilization on Earth, or one of the elite civilizations on Earth. They gave us math. And also, they gave us Arabian nights are like Arabian days, hotter than hot. Around the deserts of Arabia, the Arabs told stories, and those stories have been written down in the book The Arabian Nights. Stories of Sinbad the Sailor, which perhaps you remember from reading class, and the movie Aladdin. By the way, genies are always evil. They will grant your wishes in a way that kills you. Never trust a genie. The Arabs gave us algebra. They gave us the Arabian Nights. And they also gave us alchemy. Alchemy. The Arabs were convinced that you could turn lead, that's graphite, that you could turn lead into gold. Now, actually, lead and gold are actually very, very similar to the touch. Like if you had some lead and you had some gold, I have nothing because I'm poor. The Arabs believed that through certain scientific, mystical spell, you could turn lead into gold. Were they ever turn lead into gold? That is the science of alchemy. The answer is no. They never were able to turn lead into gold, although there were some that claimed that they could. But sadly, usually they died shortly after claiming they could turn lead into gold. One of the things they used to turn lead into gold was the substance known as mercury. Chemical symbol, I believe, Hg. Yes, pretty sure about that. If you know anything about mercury, if you remember Shi Wang Di from last year, mercury is a deadly poison. You ever heard the expression the Mad Hatter? Mad Hatter, people that used to make hats, they used to use a glue for like the brim of the hat, like Abe Lincoln's hat. And that glue had mercury within it, and these hatters kept touching this mercury, and eventually they went, eventually they would go insane. A lot of these alchemists were using mercury, and in a lot of cases, when they started to claim they could turn lead into gold, it was more likely it's because they were going mad, stark raving mad. But alchemy, in writing down all of their experiments and things they were doing, alchemy becomes the foundation for modern chemistry. Algebra, the numbers 0 through 9, the Arabian Nights, write down by Arabian Nights, write down Aladdin or something like that. By alchemy, write down Bruno Dash, put lead into gold, and put underneath, put chemistry. These are the things that the Arabs have given us, and the things that they have shared with the world, along with the religion of great faith of Islam. Now, I showed you before. Oh, they gave us medicine. How can I forget medicine? The Arabs had medical schools, while in Europe, basically your best bet was go to a monastery and hopefully some of the monks could help and treat you. The Arabs had like doctor shops and offices and things like that during the Middle Ages when Europe was still kind of in the Dark Ages. Okay, medicine. I almost forgot that one. Make sure you have all this in your notes, right? Now, let me go back. Before there were the Arabs down here in Arabia, down here in Arabia, you had, well, no! What? Okay, it's all good now. You had the spread of Christianity. Christianity, founded during the Pax Romana of the Roman Empire, founded by a Jew by the name of Jesus of Nazareth, crucified by the Romans, fell by the name of Pontius Pilate. After he offers the crowd, I'll free a guy, either Barabbas or this guy Jesus. The crowd chooses Barabbas to be freed, and therefore Pilate brutally tortures and crucifies Jesus. Well, from Jesus' example and his wise words, you had later on another Jew, another new Jew by the name of Saul, eventually Paul. Paul will take the Roman roads and he will spread the faith of Christianity all over the Roman Empire. He writes the epistles of Paul, and indeed that's most of the New Testament. The New Testament is the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and the epistles, the letters of Paul to these early Christian communities. Paul eventually is beheaded in Rome. One of Jesus' disciples, Peter, who Jesus called the Rock, he will be crucified upside down in Rome. And the Romans will actually try to wipe out Christianity for hundreds of years. But ironically, Christianity conquers the Roman Empire. Okay, we remember all that, right? There's Paul writing the epistles. Now, this is Christianity from 300 to 600. In the 600s is when Islam is born. Now, what I want you to notice here is that this is North Africa. Now, this is North Africa. North Africa. All of this is Christian. Okay, even over the Holy Land, this is controlled by the Romans. It's controlled by Christianity, and even over here, we've got Spain, which is controlled by the Christians. That was up until the Arabs explode out of Arabia. When the Arabs explode out of Arabia, notice they conquer North Africa. They conquer all the way over to Spain, and they conquer the homeland of Jesus. They conquer the Holy Land, the Canaan, the Promised Land. Okay. Oh, look, he even got the Kaaba down here. Yes, Muhammad, the Kaaba. Remember, there are false idols in the Kaaba. Muhammad's like, we can't worship these false idols. We got to worship Allah and only Allah. It was the Kaaba, sacred to Islam still, because it was originally built by Adam and Eve, rebuilt by Abraham and Ishmael. That's another story for another time. Okay, but the concerning thing is for Christianity. Remember, if it's not Catholic, it's a heresy. If it's heresy, they're words of the devil. At least that's what they thought in the Middle Ages. So in the Middle Ages, when Islam conquers these lands of North Africa and Spain and the Holy Land, well, these are Christian lands being taken over by a heresy. Holy cow, that's concerning. Well, the Pope is looking. The Pope has maps. And he's looking at these maps. He's like, wow, look, Christianity was once all through this area. And then this Islam thing came around. And Islam, this heresy, even though they believe in God as well, Allah, the Quran, they've conquered all these areas. That's horrific. Well, the Pope, again, has maps. Here's my Pope. He's looking at this. He's like, that's concerning. Well, not only is it concerning, but it turns out that the armies of Islam are still pressing. They're pressing eastward from Spain. The armies of Islam are pressing from the east. They're pressing westward. Some popes have a great concern that someday the armies of Islam might overwhelm all of Europe. And if they overwhelm all of Europe will no longer be Christian. It will be Islamic. It will be followers of Islam, followers of the Prophet Muhammad, and that would be a horrific thing. This is the devil. From the Pope's point of view, This is a religion of Satan. This is Satan and his deceivers. He's deceived the Arab people. And the Pope's like, holy cow, if we don't do something, Christianity is going to be wiped out. Okay, so the Pope says, I got to do something. Now, and at this time, the Byzantine Empire, which is right here, the Byzantine Empire, a Christian empire, is asking and begging the Pope for help. And they're telling the Pope, listen, we don't know how long we can hang on. We've heard out in Western Europe, you have these great knights, these knights and chivalry, and they're incredible warriors that from age 7, these guys are special forces. We hear you have great Christian knights. Send us knights. And if you don't send us knights, we might not be able to hang on. And then this problem's going to be in your backyard. Yes, the Pope is very, very concerned. Therefore, and the Pope also thought, you know what? We do have all these knights. We have all these knights, and all they do is feudalism. They cause wars. They cause trouble all the time. You have younger brothers of lords who can't inherit land. Maybe I can give these violent knights something to do, something honorable for God to do. Defend the lands of Christianity and push back the forces of Islam. That's his thought, at least. Well, how's he going to do that? How's he going to start something known as the Crusades? The Crusade. I didn't want to do that. Go back. There we go. To save Christendom. Of Urban II believes he must convince medieval Europe to face the Muslim threat. Now, most people in Europe don't know what Islam is. Most people today don't know what Islam is. They know it's a religion of some kind. They don't really know what it's all about. People have never heard of Muslims before. They don't know about anything that's happened 500, 1,000 miles away. They're busy fighting in their own backyards. So the Pope's like, how am I going to convince people that this is a problem? How do you convince people that climate change, which is happening, how do you convince people that maybe this is something we need to take a look at and do something about? One of the things that is pretty common with us is that we only really get excited or do something about things. We tend to do things at the last minute. We procrastinate on climate change. We procrastinate on lots of things. Do you know anything about procrastination? I think you do. To save Christendom, Pope Urban II. Make sure you put in your notes. He believes he must convince medieval Europe to face the Muslim threat. And how's he going to do it? Well, he decides he's going to make a speech. He's going to make a big speech in Clermont, France. Now, this was big news. The Pope never left Rome. He never left St. Peter's Cathedral at this time. He never left. He's going to travel over the Alps mountains to France, where these knights are. And he's going to say, listen, we need to do something. We need to go on a crusade. Now, the Byzantine Empire, they were asking for knights. They said, Pope Urban, send us knights to help us hold back the forces of Islam. But Pope Urban knows, hey, listen, if I tell them to go help fight with the Byzantine Empire, that isn't going to inspire their imaginations. So rather, Pope Urban says, hey, listen, go to Jerusalem. We are going to free Jerusalem out of Muslim hands. We are going to make Jerusalem a Christian city once more. That'll get them excited. They don't know where Jerusalem is, but they know of it. It's the city where Jesus lived, preached, and where he was crucified. It is the holiest city in the world. Pope Urban's going to make a speech, and if he's going to get any participation, it's going to have to be a good one. A really good one. But that'll be for another time. Hope you're having a great day. Greatness. I know all about greatness. Have a great, wonderful, what today? Thursday? I'll see you tomorrow.